The first round of the playoffs is underway. 8 series, 16 teams. And in almost every series, one team has a clear and convincing case to advance. Today, we're breaking down the 5 teams where the matchup isn't really a question. It's just a matter of how long it takes. Let's get into it. Number 5. The Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Toronto Raptors. This is the most debatable pick on this list, and I want to acknowledge that up front. Toronto went 3-0 against Cleveland in the regular season and outscored them by a combined 35 points across those 3 games. The Raptors are physical, young, and genuinely believe they can win this series. They should. But here's the counter-argument. Cleveland went 22-9 after acquiring James Harden at the trade deadline. Harden has completely transformed this offense, unlocking Jarrett Allen in the pick and roll, taking pressure off Donovan Mitchell, and giving the Cavaliers a genuine secondary playmaker for the first time in years. The team Toronto beat 3 times no longer exists. This is a different roster with a different identity. Mitchell is one of the best playoff scorers in the East. Evan Mobley anchors the defense. And Harden, in a half-court playoff setting, controlling pace and dictating matchups, is exactly the version of Harden that works. Cleveland is 52-30, Toronto is 46-36. The talent gap is real, even if the regular season series says otherwise. Cavaliers win. Number 4. The Denver Nuggets versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Nikola Jokic is averaging 27.7 points, 12.9 rebounds, and 10.7 assists this season. He is leading the league in both rebounds and assists simultaneously, something no player has ever done, while also finishing top 8 in scoring. Denver finished the regular season on a 12-game winning streak. They have the best offensive rating in the NBA at 121.9. Jamal Murray is having the best season of his career at 25.4 points per game. Minnesota is a quality team. Anthony Edwards just returned from a knee injury, and the Timberwolves were managing him carefully to have him healthy for this series. They have Rudy Gobert, Julius Randle, and a physical defensive identity that can cause problems for anyone. What do you think? Does Jokic finally get his second ring this year? Drop it in the comments. But Denver won 3 of 4 regular season meetings against Minnesota. And this is a Jokic entering the playoffs on 12 straight wins, playing arguably the best basketball of his career. When Jokic and Murray are both healthy in a playoff series, the Nuggets almost never lose. Denver advances. Number 3. The San Antonio Spurs versus the Portland Trail Blazers. San Antonio went 30-4 from February 1st through the end of the regular season. Victor Wembanyama is averaging 25.0 points, 11.5 rebounds, and 3.1 blocks per game in his first career playoff appearance. Mitch Johnson has built one of the most cohesive defensive and offensive systems in the league. This is a team playing with genuine championship ambition. Portland is the 7 seed. They got here by beating Phoenix in the play-in on Deni Avdia's 41-point performance. They are young, hungry, and nobody expected them to be here. That's admirable, but they ranked 21st in offensive rating during the regular season. Their defense has been solid, 12th in the league, which will keep a few games competitive. But they don't have an answer for what Wembanyama does on either end of the floor. If you like this video, hit subscribe. We'll be covering every round. Wembanyama's playoff debut is against an opponent that has no realistic way to contain him. San Antonio is the better team at every position. Portland can make it interesting, but San Antonio moves on. Number 2, the Boston Celtics versus the Philadelphia 76ers. Jason Tatum tore his Achilles in May of last year and came back in 10 months. He is averaging 21.8 points and 10.0 rebounds across 16 games since his return, and still says he doesn't fully feel like himself yet. He recorded a triple-double on April 1st while admitting he wasn't at peak form. Whatever is coming from Tatum in the coming weeks is still ahead of us. Jaylen Brown has been an All-NBA candidate all season. The Celtics are second in offensive rating in the league and 4th in defensive rating. They have championship pedigree. Joe Mazzulla has been one of the best coaches in basketball for 2 straight years. Philadelphia earned their playoff spot by beating Orlando in the play-in and are coming off a bounce-back campaign from a brutal 2025. but they are a significant underdog against a Celtics team built and primed for a deep run. The real story here isn't whether Boston wins. It's how sharp Tatum looks by the time this series ends, and what that signals for the rounds ahead. Celtics move on. And number 1, the most guaranteed result in the first round, the Oklahoma City Thunder. They went 64-18. They are the defending champions. They earned the best record in the NBA for the second straight season. SGA is averaging 31.1 points per game and owns the all-time record for consecutive games with at least 20 points at 137 straight. Jalen Williams returned from injury and says his wrist feels better than it ever has, meaning this Thunder team is entering the playoffs healthier than the group that won the championship last year. Their opponent is either the Phoenix Suns or the Golden State Warriors, a 7 seed or a 10 seed, both of whom had to survive a play-in game just to earn the right to face the best team in the NBA. The Warriors just got Stephen Curry back from a 2-month knee injury. The Suns lost to Portland in their first play-in game and had to win a second-chance game just to stay alive. No play-in team in NBA history has ever beaten a 64-win defending champion in the first round. OKC has home court throughout the playoffs. They have the deepest roster in basketball, and they are chasing something that hasn't happened since 2018, a back-to-back championship. The real question isn't whether Oklahoma City wins this series. It's whether anything in this bracket can stop them in June. Subscribe. We'll be here every step of the way.